a woman to go 50-50 on bills and expenses, does he really see her value beyond her financial contribution? Because at the end of the day, 50-50 is a roommate, not a love match. 50-50 is, well, what do you bring to the table? 50-50 is nothing special, easily replaceable by another woman who can match that financial contribution. 50-50 is doing you a favor by being with you. 50-50 means there's no evolutionary drive to, as a healthy, secure male, provide for and protect his lady in some sort of way. 50-50 means that he doesn't understand that a woman's greatest power is being a creator and nurturer. Women are givers of light. We expand whatever you give us. You give us 10 and we'll make you 50. You give us a bag of food and we'll cook you a meal. You give us a seed and we'll make you a baby. You give us a house and we'll make you a home. You give us a heavy heart and we will heal it. You give us a soul and we will protect it. So what is that worth? Ladies, if you are in a 50-50 relationship with that man and you are having his babies, I just want you to know that you are being scammed. Because if you are having his babies and you're 50-50 on all expenses, you're actually paying more than 50-50 because you are taking on 100% of the childbearing burden. You are taking that time out of your life, also the postpartum. You are taking on 100% also of the short-term and long-term health risks of pregnancy. So that doesn't even take into account any of the additional jobs that you will be taking on with the child rearing and all of the child care that you will probably do more of. So keep that in mind. 50-50, when you've got kids, is actually you going 80-20. Now, if you're okay with that, then you do you. But I want you to look at the numbers closely and know what you're worth.
The real reason a man wants to do 50-50 with you is because he was exposed to a dynamic where the woman was doing 80-20 or less than. And because of that, if he's asking for 50-50, then technically you're getting a deal. In his mind, his mom already had 80% of the work. She was doing 2 jobs, trying to survive, and she was complaining about the 20%. So if I'm giving you an extra 30%, technically I'm doing better than my dad, so you should be happy. And if she had to do it all, anything over 10%, sis, you should be happy. So when you're asking and being like, yeah, that's not going to work for me, it looks like you're being ungrateful because you had better than his mom. And that looks like that is enough. So he really doesn't have the capacity. Think on that. Hey, powerful people. Let's quickly talk about when a man wants you to go 50-50 in a relationship. There's something super important that says about him, about you, and about his view of you and your roles in the relationship. Let's unpack. Men and women play different roles in a relationship, and a man in his healthiest masculine state is going to be a protector, a provider, and a director of his woman, his family, and the entirety of that relationship. He will be willing to take on the bulk of the responsibility in order to create ease and comfort and safety and security for his woman and for his children. If you are in partnership with a man who is not thinking in that direction and who believes that you should meet his efforts and match his efforts, what that tells you is that this is not a man who is in a healthy, masculine, energetic state. And it is also not a man who understands, respects, and appreciates the role that a woman is supposed to play in the life of a partner, in the life of her children, in her household, and in the relationship dynamic. As much as so many women scream about equality in relationships and we want men to see us as equals, that's not really what we want from them. what we want the men in our lives to see us as is complementary to them. If he sees you as his equal, it means that he is not seeing you as a woman. He's not seeing you as the goddess of the household and the family and the relationship. So he's never going to be able to treat you with the gentleness and the care and the softness and the appreciation that you actually deserve. And so when you are in connection, communication, or relationship with men who tell you that they want a woman to go 50-50, what they're saying is, I see you as my equal. I see you the same way I see every other person in the world. I see you the same way I see my bros and the same way I see my homeboys. And that's problematic. That is not what you want. It is not conducive to a healthy or happy relationship. And so, again, if he is telling you that he wants a woman to go 50-50 and he expects you to go 50-50, it also says that he has no direction for your future. He doesn't see you as a wife. He doesn't see you as the mother to his children, because if he did, he would already understand that you are giving so much more than 50% when you come into the space. And is a marriage supposed to be 50-50? No. If you listen to the marriage vows very carefully, it is supposed to be the man provides and protects for the woman. That's why the father walks the bride down the aisle, because he's responsible for her and always, and then he hands her over to the groom, who is now responsible for the daughter. I know a lot of modern feminist views, or a woman can earn just as much as a man, yes, but there are still options. Women in the 60s were fighting for the option to work, not the absolute all or nothing. When you guys start to talk about things like, oh, well, you fought for rights, you're going to have to pull your weight, and it's 50-50 over here, and I'm not paying for no woman. Okay, the exact reason why those women fought for rights to work, because you weren't doing enough. She could run circles around you, so she wanted to get out and do something. A lot of men were not cutting it. They were like, well, let me go and try. I bet I can earn 10 times as much money as this person I'm supposed to depend on. Is a marriage supposed to be?
He cares about your money, and he has money to the point that he's going to ask you to go 50-50. That man's not in love with you. Let's just knock that out right now. He ain't in love. There's something completely wrong there. I've never seen a man who's in love with money who is unwilling to provide for his partner, unwilling to take some financial burden off of her. All right? Even if it's not 100% on him, it might be 60, 40, 70, 30. He's going to take a bigger portion. I've never seen anything otherwise. All right? When it's truly he's in love with her. So there's that. The other reason why a man's going to be caring about your money is because he's already been damaged and traumatized by being used for his money. All right?
If you're embarrassed to say that you want your man to provide for you, you need not to be. The simple reason is because, at least for a certain amount of time, if you want a family, you need him to provide for you. And if you meet men and they're not mature enough to understand that, then it's probably better you're not with them. If he's into this 50-50, we provide together paradigm of reality, then he can have that. But you need, as a woman, if you want a family, protected motherhood, which means in the time when the children are small, you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know if those children are going to be born and need care all the time. They're definitely going to need care all the time, but you don't know how long that care is going to be. You don't know how independent the child will be raised to be. You don't know how you're going to feel about your children going into care. You don't know any of that stuff. So you cannot tell a man once you meet him that you will definitely put your children into care and that's fine by you. That's why you don't need to act like this woman who's going to be 50-50 and all these things. If you want a family, be brave enough to tell men that you want him to provide. It doesn't need to be a luxurious lifestyle. It doesn't need to be a crazy amount of money. But in the time when you have small children, you guys need to be able to live on his salary. What does that mean for you? I'm not sure. How much money is that for you? I'm not sure. But you need to be realistic and you need to be in your feminine about that. You need to say that openly and honestly, so you don't get stuck with a man who expects you to work and raise your children and have your children and be the one who's taking them to care. It's very simple. And you're going to tell me a lot of adults cannot afford to live on one salary. Can they not? Or do they have expectations of a different lifestyle? Can they not? Or maybe they're not in a position where they can provide. It's all about choices. But I'm telling you, when you have small children, the mother needs to be there for them. And you need to plan for them. So don't be embarrassed to say that you want a husband who provides for you.
Just think about how much money we could also save, like just by just two people in one household bringing it in 50-50 down the middle.
Marcus, you crazy if you think that I'm finna come and stay with you and you gonna have me paying half the bills.
What's crazy about that?
You asking me to come stay with you. You already paying the bills. You can do it, so keep doing it.
I'm saying, but all right, so what are you doing now? Like, you still stay with your mom, right?
First of all, that ain't none of your business. You're saying that you want me to come stay with you. I don't pay my mama rent. Why would I come to your house and pay you rent? That sounds crazy to me. If you want me to come over there, then you need to provide for me. Don't that make sense?
I'm saying I'm going to provide, but just like half. You know what I mean? Like,
then that's not provision. Like, provide means fully covered. Like,
but I'm not really understanding what's the big problem. Like, if you're looking at the big picture, we could really be like on some power couples type stuff.
Okay, well, you have the power of providing 100% of the bills, and we will be a couple. The math is math, and I don't understand.
I'm saying, but you don't think it'll be like a lot harder, like it just being like one person versus it being two people?
How is it a lot harder if you already doing it? You seem to be carrying the load quite well. I feel like you just want my money. Like,
no,
what's going on?
Money. I'm just saying, like, I don't want your money. I'm trying to make it our money so we can join together, stack up some money, and then we can get us something nice.
Okay, well, you already have something nice. That's why you asking me to come and stay with you. Like, I don't think you would be asking me to come stay with you if we stayed in a rat trap. Like, you obviously want me to come stay with you, so you need to provide the housing. Like, that only makes sense.
I'm saying, when you grew up, your mom and your dad, they didn't split bills. They didn't do 50-50. It was just like strictly
my daddy paid for everything. Like, what are you saying? And you knew this about me when we first started dating. So you'll be cool if we have a kid and our daughter come home and say she finna move in with some man and he want her to pay half the bills?
Yes, actually, I would be. Like, I'm just saying, I would understand it. I'm not against it. I would totally understand it. I wouldn't be tripping about it. I mean, look at how everything is panning out right now when it comes to like the world. Like, food, the cost of living, food, everything is just going up. Gas. I'm just saying, it makes sense. One person can't do everything by themselves nowadays.
How it only makes sense to you?
That's what I'm trying to see. Like, it makes sense to me. I'm not understanding why it don't make sense to you. Back then, when your mom and dad was growing up, the cost of living was different.
I don't understand. If you are already comfortable paying your bills, like, why do you need my money? You asking me to come stay with you. You already got the space. Like, what is you trying to do? Like, I can't use my money for my stuff, like hair, nails, and stuff. Like, I'm not asking you to take care of me, but the bills, like, that's easy.
I'm not saying you can't use your money for what you want, but I'm just saying, like, when bills come in and stuff.
If y'all are going 50-50, or a man asks you to go 50-50, he doesn't think you're the type of woman that he needs to impress. It also means that he thinks you're desperate enough to go for that because he thinks he's the prize. That means he does not feel that you're the type of woman that he needs to go all out for, to impress, to lay down the red carpet for. So therefore, he's basically insulting you. Okay? So remember that. And if you are stuck in a 50-50 relationship, the best way to help yourself is definitely to level up as far as what you look like, how you dress, how you carry yourself, and all that. And start requiring more, start asking for more, start doing less, and giving him more responsibility financially. And see what he's going to do. See if he really likes you. Going to start arguing about, him doing more. Because if he really loves you and he wants to keep you, he's going to pay them bills. Okay?
A man who asks you to go 50-50 does not love you. Let me go ahead and explain. Hello, my name is Carla, and restoring healthy mindsets is my thing. I want to go ahead and preface with saying this. All the women in my life have provider mindset men. My aunties are all stay-at-home moms. My mom is a stay-at-home mom. And I've seen how much their husbands adore them and love them. Because they adore them and love them, they don't want to overwork them. Remember, ladies, purposeful partners. All of my aunties, my mom, and even myself are with our partners for one purpose: family. To create a safe and harmonious home. We all value nuclear family. And because of this, we can only be with provider men that are capable of affording our lifestyle, being protectors, and can give us a life of ease. Because being a mom on its own is a huge responsibility, and men know this. And when a man falls in love, when a man is in love, the only thing he will worry about is his woman's happiness. We know this. Women are men's peace. That's why they gravitate towards feminine women, because feminine women have mastered the art of self-regulating, having flow and systems that work for them so they're not stressed all the time, and they also don't compete with men. So I need you to ask yourself, has he asked you to go 50-50? This is more relevant for my ladies that are dating. If he's already asking you to go 50-50, you need to be careful. Don't bend your non-negotiables because you see potential. Ladies, be wise. I saw a video today on TikTok of this young man, African American, saying how he wants to go to Africa to find a wife. And he said all this after watching Tyler, a beautiful sister from South Africa. And he's like, you know what? That's it. We just need to go to Africa to find wives. Audacity. Anyway, me being African, I was raised in Africa and I was also raised in the United States. So I have experience from both continents, okay? And let me tell you something. If you are an American man who thinks that going outside of the United States is where you will find a good woman, a good wife, because American women ask for too much. The ladies out here, man, they're just materialistic. Let me tell you something. It is worse. It is 1,000 times worse than what you think back home in Africa. At least for the country that I was raised in and the culture that I was raised in. Because here's the thing. African women, African young girls, we are raised to literally know that the man is the provider. In fact, a lot of African women don't even go to work. Their men are the ones who go to work and just bring the money home for the wife to budget. And if you think the women here in America are asking for too much, in fact, go to Africa. No, go get married. Because the way African young girls are raised, we are raised with so much knowledge about family, friendship, how to deal with lives. So when families in Africa see that their daughters have gone through so much learning and they have become knowledgeable of life and marriage and all those things, they know the value of their daughters. And they say, you know what? Any man cannot come and marry our daughter for free. He has to pay a dowry. And that's why majority of African cultures, before a man goes to take the daughter to marry a woman, he has to pay the family a dowry, an appreciation. And dowry can go from money to cows and goats to even building the girl's family a house. Yes, and it's all to show appreciation to the family of the girl that thank you so much for raising such a beautiful and wonderful woman who's going to be the mother of my kids. So, the system works differently. The United States, after living here for almost 10 years, I've realized that here, men just take for free. And I know this might be triggering and or insulting some people, but it's the truth. Men in the United States are used to taking things for free, especially from women. They expect, well, I'm just gonna go date her, have sex with her here and there, and use her, and then we'll just be in a relationship. It does not work like that in Africa. It is worse. You cannot take someone's daughter for free like that. You have to impress her and the family, most importantly. And in some cultures, like my own, if you have not proven yourself as a man that you have the resources to take care of someone's daughter, guess what? Even the family has the right to take you to court, to police, and say, we brought this man, he wants to take our daughter for free. Or if you've already taken the daughter without paying the family a dowry, they can say, he stole our daughter from us without any appreciation. And guess who is going to win the case? The family of the girl. So to any American man or any man worldwide who wants to marry a woman in Africa, use your common sense. You have to be very, very strong in your masculinity to know that
I do not expect my wife to work if she doesn't want to. She can or she cannot. My position as the man in her life will not change whether she works or not. My position is to provide for her. So my brother, you want to go to Africa to find a wife because they are much more nicer. Let me tell you, they come with the most costly, how do I say this? And this is not like a selling your daughter type of thing. No, the families are not exchanging their children for money and possessions. No, it's simply the man giving to the girl's family in appreciation of receiving a wife. He who finds a wife finds a what? A good thing. Yes. So if you're an American man, because that's all I've seen, and you're used to taking things for free, don't go to Africa. Don't. You will be hunted down like a criminal for stealing someone's daughter.
This one's for the men. Do you know why you always defend 50-50 on a date, and do you want the woman to pay her part and you want the woman to pay her bills? It's because your ego is defending your current position on life. It's because your ego and your mind will not allow you to see that money is literally infinite, that there's limitless amounts of money, and that money is available for you, yet you haven't fully tapped into the fullness of your masculine energy. So what happens is the wounded masculine within you will defend, and you'll defend it to the end. You'll defend it to the death. Why? Because you don't know any other way than to live that way. You don't know any other way or any other energy to be in than to say, I can't fully provide for a woman. Therefore, the only other option is for her to chip in as well. And I say this from love. The way that you discover and tap into the fullness of your masculine energy is to get past that fear. The fear of being able to provide, the fear of being able to honor and respect the woman. And when you finally are able to do that, regardless of the money, when you make the decision internally to say, from this day forward, no woman will ever pay anything when she's in my presence, guess what happens? The universe says, your wish is my command, and starts to bless you with more money. Remove the limitations that you have in your mind about how you treat women, and you will literally remove the limitations that you have on your life financially.
As a man, I do firmly believe that a man should pay for everything. And there's several reasons for this. One of them is just to avoid the 50-50 completely, because there's no way to do a 50-50 that works. Because either you're going to have the problem where you treat everything straight down the middle and it's transactional, and then if one person makes more money than the other, that person always feels like they're getting the short end of the stick, or you have to subsidize the other person, in which case the other person feels like, why am I subsidizing you? It's not good.
Well, I have a quick question.
Okay.
Since you do support us,
right,
is there ever a time where you feel I'm
absolutely not
providing something to you?
No.
And how do you not?
Because I'm the man. As a man.
Can't be 50-50 with a woman when she's on her period. That's a pain, and that's a journey that she has to go through every single month that you don't participate in, and that you can't be 50-50 in. You can't be 50-50 in the 9 months when a woman is pregnant. That's a journey that she is going to take part of, that you have no idea the emotions and the hormones and the changes in her body that she is going to have to go through. And you can't be 50-50 in the moment when she has to give birth. That is something that only a woman can do. And you can't definitely be 50-50 in the 9 or 10 or 11 or 12 months after. You can't be 50-50 in the time after when a woman gives birth and she has to breastfeed and she has that nurturing and loving relationship with a child. So what you as a man have to do is you have to honor your duty as a man and hold space for her so that she can do that freely and she can do that in her feminine energy. And as a result of that, your baby will be rewarded in that he will have a masculine and feminine presence in his life, and that is what creates a very healthy baby.
Marriage is not 50-50. It has never been 50-50. It will never be 50-50. I'm going to hold up a card and I'm going to show you what marriage is. Marriage is 85-15. 85 to the woman and 15 to the man. And let me explain something to you. The reason a woman is in charge of the house is because they know more about it. They know the kids' schedule. They know your schedule. They know the bills. They know where everybody goes. They take care of vacations. They run everything in the house because they care about everything. You a dude. You just know about your job. You don't know nothing else. You don't know else, nothing else. And guess what? I'm happy.
Right.
I come home and I'm happy.